Welcome to the West Point Lake Update. My name's Rocky Millenbine, Park Ranger for the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers at West Point Lake. We have a great show lined up for you today. We have Greg Olson and Ken Bearden, who are expert fishermen here at West Point Lake. We also have one of our regulars, Jill Sestino, with the Chattahoochee River Keepers to tell us about some great events that we have coming up. Again, stay tuned because we have much more to come. Welcome back to the West Point Lake Update. With me now, I have Jill Sestino with the Chattahoochee River Keeper. Jill, welcome back to the show.
Hi, Rocky. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Well, we're always glad to have you, and you're becoming one of our regulars here on the show.
I know. It's good. It's great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And the River Keepers, you have been very busy here lately. You've been doing a lot of great activities within the community, and also you've got a big activity coming up in June, correct?
That's right. We're planning for our second annual Clean Water Festival. As you know, we're working on it together. So we're very excited about that. It was a huge success for us last year. We had a lot of people come out. We had a packed park at Yellow Jacket, and so we decided to have it again, and we hope to make that an annual event for us. It's very important to us through our commitment to this area of the region that we make sure to tell people we're the ones that sued the City of Atlanta to clean up this area and with all the untreated sewage, and so we want to make sure that that lake stays clean, and we want to make sure that people know that it is now safe to swim and recreate and have a great time out on West Point Lake.
Yeah, and you mentioned, you know, all the things that the River Keepers have done throughout the year, and it's great that, you know, I believe the organization started out in Atlanta, but it's moved down here, and now you've got a very strong presence in LaGrange.
That's right. We started in 1994. Our main office is in Atlanta, but we do have an office up at Lake Lanier, and then we were so happy a couple years ago to open an office down here as well. We protect all the way from Helen at the headwaters, all the way down to the Florida line at Lake Seminole. So we are very committed to this middle section of the Chattahoochee and have a very valuable program going down here with education in the schools, outreach events that we do with our film festival that we just did, our Clean Water Festival that we just did. We do all kind of supporting events throughout the community. So we are very committed to this area with outreach and recreation as well, to get people out and get excited about the water. Therefore, they'll want to protect the water. Absolutely.
And you mentioned education, and that's something that I know you put so much effort into, is educating the people of LaGrange, of Troup County, how important it is to keep our water clean and how important it is to use our resource.
That's right. Well, I mean, we do feel very strongly. We spend a lot of time, a lot of money, millions and millions of dollars to clean up the Chattahoochee River. It is a beautiful river. The quantity now is significantly, we've made so much progress, it's significantly better than it was 20 years ago. It is off of the endangered list from American Rivers as a polluted river, but it is still on the endangered list for quantity issues.
Sure.
We are constantly struggling with quantity issues in the Chattahoochee River watershed, as you know, and so that's something that we try to get out and talk to people about. We want to talk to them about clean water, and we want to talk to them about the quantity of the water and how they can protect that water and conserve that water for the future.
Absolutely, and one of the great ways to do that is to not just educate the public, but to get at them young. And I know you've done a lot within the school systems to really get that message to the youth.
Yes, and it is, sometimes you can talk to people that, you know, adults like us, you don't get anywhere. You know, they don't understand, they don't want to hear, but children are amazing. And you know, I have 2 children, and so I'm very, very committed to this job, and I'm committed to this organization because I think that it really will make a difference. I spoke to elementary children that sent me fantastic thank you notes, exactly what they had learned. And then we worked at Long Cane Middle for a week out there. And those students were remarkable. I saw a few of them last weekend that participated in that program. It was a week-long program that we did with partnerships such as the Corps, with Kia. Our water monitoring volunteers came out. We have the largest amount of Georgia Adopt-A-Stream water monitors in the state.
Great.
And I'm so happy to tell you that we had 20 people go through our training this past year for training to adopt a strain. And that's, we had no one before. So when I started, we had no one. So 20 people for us is great, and we're monitoring out on Long Cane Creek at 3 different sections. And so as a part of that program, we went into the school that's almost on the creek, pretty darn close, and worked with the students. And those kids, they're like sponges. They got it. You know, 3 months later, they're still coming back to me, you know, telling me how much they enjoyed the program and how much they learned. And I know they did, because I gave a little quiz that day to that group, and they all remember the answers, so we love that.
Well, as you mentioned, you know, it seems like sometimes because of problems in the past, people think that those problems are still here of, you know, water quality and that sort. And we're always kind of fighting that battle where people think West Point Lake's water is dirty and they shouldn't swim in it, they shouldn't eat the fish. And that's completely false, because we do monitor the water and we know that it's clean. So it really takes a strong initiative to make sure that the public gets that information.
That's right, and that is, we are constantly preaching that message. Like I said, we're the group that cleaned it up. So we really want that message to get out to the public for 2 reasons. One is the work has been done. We have, you know, made significant progress, and Atlanta has cleaned up their sewage. They have. They've done their best. They are at the very end of that consent decree that they were under, and so we are now at the point where we want people to know, actually, that live in this region, at this end of the river, that they can go out and swim in their lake and that it is safe. And that's one of the reasons why we want the Clean Water Festival to be a continuing program, to be a continuing festival. Let's make that an annual celebration. And it, as you know, it is just amazing to me how many people don't know what a valuable resource that lake is to our community.
Right. And that's the great thing about the Clean Water Festival, is that we're getting all these educational opportunities, but we're combining it with the fun activities that people can have out here on the water.
That's right. It is great to see people come out that have never kayaked before, and our guide last year, Pine Mountain Adventures, was so fantastic. They're such patient teachers. It was fun to watch children that had never been out on boats. I had some kids tell me that they had never been out on a boat before, and Highland Marine was kind enough to donate boats. The Chattahoochee Riverkeeper brought our boat down. So it was really fun. We take it for granted sometimes because a lot of us go out and boating and enjoy the lake all the time, but some people haven't done that. And so it was really wonderful to see people learn a new skill. And once we get them out on the water, then we usually have a good chance of getting them to care about the water.
Oh, absolutely. And you mentioned kayaking, and it's such a great activity that I think it's growing in the area. I really do. I think it is got a good amount of growth, but it's a great way for people to get out on the river and get out in the, kind of the coves of the lake and just enjoy nature. And it's just a beautiful way to see the river.
And there's so many different areas that you can put in to kayak. So that is a fantastic opportunity to get out. It's quiet, you know. So
it's one of the best ways to see just nature on the river. I mean, it's not uncommon to see osprey, eagles, turtles. I mean, just everything. It's the river's alive. I was out on my kayak and you know, I saw all kinds of things on the river this weekend, and I enjoy it. It's a great thing.
And it's for all ages too. I think that's another good point, because we did see a lot of children at the Clean Water Festival last year. Yellow Jacket Beach is such a great place. You can get out on the sand and play in the sand, and you can kind of walk around the activities that we had, all the exhibits set up. But then you can run right down and kayak, and you can fish. Everything's kind of right there in that little cove. So it's a great spot, and it's for, you know, it's something for all ages at the festival.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the kayaking, the boat rides, which were a huge hit, and also we're going to have some local fishermen come down and kind of show some of the people there the ropes on how to fish here locally, and there's just so many other fun things to do while they're here at the Clean Water Festival. Right.
And we will, as you know, because you helped me with this, we will be offering this free. The Corps of Engineers waives the fee to get in that day to Yellow Jacket, which is really nice. That's not often done, so we appreciate that. One of the missions that Chattahoochee Riverkeeper has is to try and bring as many free opportunities to people in this area to get them out on the water. So we're very glad that we can do that. Every activity is free that day. There will be food there, but if you would like to bring a picnic basket and just enjoy the picnic tables, then that's available. You can
Yeah.
do that as well. So the whole day can be free family fun.
Absolutely.
And we need lots of volunteers.
Yeah.
We always need lots of volunteers because we have so many education stations. If people go through the education stations, they are registered to win door prizes that we give away. We give a lot of cool door prizes away.
Absolutely.
So hopefully we'll have another kayak this year that we can raffle off. Last year we raffled off a kayak,
Yeah.
and that was fantastic. We really were excited about that. So hopefully we'll do that again this year, have somebody donate a kayak. And LaGrange Grocery donated that last year to us, so we'll see if we can get them to do that again. But it is really nice to see all these people going through the exhibits, but it does take volunteers at each one of those exhibits, and particularly in the boating areas, to make sure safety is a primary concern. As you know, you'll be doing some water safety, I'm sure, that day too. So we do need lots of volunteers.
Yeah. We need the people out there to help, to help monitor everybody, make sure everything's going safe, as well as to do the educational opportunities. But it's also important that we also need partners to help sponsor the event. So there are a lot of needs for this event to be the huge success that we're hoping that it's going to be.
Right, and it's our commitment to the community to do this festival. We understand the value of the lake to this community, so the Chattahoochee Riverkeeper is happy to sponsor this event. But yes, it does take partnerships, it does take donations to pull that off. People can do that through memberships, they can do that from private donations. The other thing I'd like to add is that if people would like to volunteer, the event itself is from 10 till 2 on a Saturday, but you can volunteer for 2 hours, and then you can go enjoy the festival for another 2 hours. So it's a great way to volunteer and actually be able to enjoy the festival.
Sure. And we just want to reiterate, it's going to be at Yellow Jacket Beach on June the 1st.
Right.
From 10 to 2.
That's right.
So, and it, like you said, it's free, everyone's invited, and we're really hoping it's going to be just a huge success.
Right, yes, we did it last year. We had a fantastic turnout. And if people want more information, they can get it on our website. We have a West Point Region page now up on our website. It's www.chattahoochee.org, and you can go to West Point Region site and you can get my name, my number, all my contact information, and you can also be added to our local email list if you prefer to get email list. We can do it that way by email.
And they can get not just to volunteer for this event, but to volunteer for water monitoring or anything else that you're doing in the community, which you always have something going on in the community.
We have a lot of outreach. We have a lot of outreach, a lot of speaking. Yes, we do.
So, Jill, we just want to thank you so much for all you do for the community and the lake, and thank you for being back on the show.
Great, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and we just want to invite everybody to come out to the Clean Water Festival, because it's going to be a great day.
And it's our second annual. We're very excited.
Yeah, and we want everybody to stay tuned because we've got much more to come. Welcome back to the West Point Lake Update. With me now I have Ken Bearden and Greg Olson, and they're two of the biggest fishermen out here on the lake. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And I'm really excited to have you guys here today because fishing is just such a big thing here at West Point Lake, and I know you guys both have a great amount of knowledge fishing West Point Lake. And I guess the first question to start it off is, how's fishing going?
Oh, it's been great. The lake was down around 13 feet last summer. Well, that just grew up, lots of bushes and weeds and grasses, and when that happens, it just rejuvenates and brings new life into the lake. It really does. Gives the shad new places to spawn, gives the bass fry when they hatch out somewhere to live and survive and get bigger. So your numbers of fish should go up, and that's why people come to to fish, to catch fish. So.
Yeah, you mentioned the lake was down, and really it kind of, I think what you're trying to say is it allowed grasses and bushes and stuff to grow up in areas where now that the lake is back up and we got a good lake level this summer, we've got good spotting areas for the fish.
That's right.
And when the lake was down as well, they gave fishermen opportunities to put brush piles out, fish attractors, which helps the fishing a lot more.
Yeah, and we never hope for a low lake level, obviously, but it is a good opportunity to kind of see where the structure's at, that maybe you couldn't normally see. And I know, Ken, you're out here a lot on West Point Lake, and you guide out here as well, correct?
That's correct.
And how's business going, and are people really excited about fishing this season?
It has. They have. I've had people from Alabama. Took a gentleman just a couple days ago from Pell City, Alabama. Lives on the lake, Lake Logan Martin. But you know, they always hear of these fish like this right here, because you won't catch that on Lake Logan Martin, you know, in Alabama. So, and that's, people want to catch a trophy of a lifetime.
Absolutely.
And West Point has a reputation for many years of being able to go out and catch one of those.
Yeah. And speaking of this fish right here, Greg, you actually caught this fish just recently.
Yes, February 10th I was out there, and third cast of the day, and this is just one of those blessings you get every once in a while to catch something like that. Actually, I released the fish back into the lake after measuring her, getting weight and so forth. She was 26.5 inches long with a 20.5-inch girth, just a fraction over 13 pounds, and very fortunate to catch her.
That's right. So everybody needs to know that this 13-pound beast is still out there to catch.
She's swimming, or she's already had her babies, most likely by now. You know.
But, you know, like you said, West Point Lake, it's known for producing big fish, and big fish bring in a lot of people. And with this great fishery, you know, we're very fortunate that we've had Bassmasters here, the Bassmaster Elite Series here at this lake twice now. And I know, Greg, you've worked with helping to get Bassmasters here.
Right. I've been working with the Chamber of Commerce, which has done a super job in getting them in here. A great group of people. There's been a lot of good volunteers involved. Getting this done, and we're very fortunate to have them back. ESPN is going to be here covering it, so.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why, another reason besides great fishing that Bassmasters keeps coming back is the popularity here locally with fishing. You know, I know Bassmasters was very proud of the fact that they had some of the biggest crowds of the season in 2010 here at West Point Lake.
Yeah, in fact, we had the largest crowd that season. And within 12 hours, the Chamber received a call asking, can we do it again? They were very impressed with the turnout for the tournament.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And, you know, Ken, I know you probably get a lot of feedback from the local community. Are they also catching these kinds of fish?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's, well, you know, it's like it is anywhere else. I mean, 2 weeks ago, it took 13 pounds to win a tournament, 100 boats. Okay, the week before that, it took 28 pounds, you know. So fishing is fishing, even here, you know, even on Lake Gunnersville where the numbers are high. I mean, so you just have to go. I mean, you can't say, well, they're going to buy it today. You just have to go hook up and go and see what's going to happen. I met a man at the ramp a couple of days ago. He says, boy, this is the best day I've had in a long time. And he said, I hadn't been down here to West Point in a while, and so I came down here, and he said, I probably caught 30 bass a day. You know?
Wow.
And he was not someone who fishes regularly like I do. He was just somebody who was wanting to go somewhere different, hadn't been here for a while, and so that's what you have to do. You just have to go and see how the day turns out.
You never know what the weather's going to be like, and there's a lot of different factors to have that great day of fishing: weather, water temperature, lake level, you know, all these things, and they're constantly changing throughout the year with the different seasons.
Moon phases have a lot to do with it. And then, of course, cloud cover.
Yeah.
A lot of factors come into play on that.
Fish change with the weather.
Sure.
So the weather changes every day. So pretty much, you know, if you wear them out in a spot one day, that don't mean you go back the next day. You know.
Right.
If you, really, I like things to stay stable. You know, in that way, the fish don't move quite so quickly.
Sure. And right now, we're in a unique time of fishing the year, kind of this late spring, early summer, because a lot of the bass are on beds right now. That's my understanding. Yeah,
you'll have different phases. I mean, because you have fish that live in the lake, out deep, and then you have old lonesome fish that he don't want no buddies. He stays shallow. The only reason he'll leave there is the water comes down. So he comes back up, he's back there. So really, those fish, they'll spawn first. You can start seeing them in February, March, but then these fish that live in groups, they'll come up usually in April. And that's when, so it doesn't all happen at the same time, because the water down the lake clears up quicker, which the sunlight penetrates and warms it up quicker. So those triggers those fish to do, you know, what they want to do. And the water up the lake is usually dingier, darker, so this takes a while for it to warm up. And that's what I've been doing. I've been following that all season. I mean, you want, like the last few weeks, I've been from like Highland Marina back up to 219 Bridge, because the fish way down in Maple Creek down in there, they're through, and they go through a getting over process where once they get through spawning, it takes them 5 or 6 days of just laying around, not eating, just to recover.
Sure.
So you want to stay where the fishing is at the best at the time.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's constantly, as you said, it's just constantly moving.
It is.
Like you said, works from the lower end of the lake to the top end of the lake as far as them going on bed.
Sure.
And you'll see fish probably in May. You'll see some fish in these big tournaments coming up, big sacks most likely of big fish, I would think, over the next few weeks.
Yeah, the Bassmasters should be a lot of different things happening. They should be a good topwater bite. They should be flippers, guys flipping in these bushes, you know. They may even be some late spawners because the water took so long to warm up, you know.
Like last May, there were some late spawners up in upper end of the lake for us as well. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. So if somebody's watching the TV show and they're, you know, they see this, they're seeing this behemoth fish, and they're thinking, I want to get out to West Point Lake and fish. What are some baits you would recommend for them?
This time of year, you want to trigger that protective instinct of a fish. And so this fish is made in nests and laid eggs, and so I probably catch more on a Zoom Super Fluke right now than anybody. And this lasts for a month or so because you fish, you just use a hook, you don't use a weight, and you there's a method of using it where you twitch and make this bait just dart and pause. And what you're doing is this fish thinks that he's eating these babies that's hatched out.
I gotcha.
So it triggers that protective part of the fish, and so he will bite even if he's not hungry. So you know, we was catching 25 and 30. I fished probably every day for the last couple of weeks, and we've averaged 20, 25, 30 a day.
Wow.
You know, just, yeah.
That's keeping you busy.
But see, you can fish right through the same area with the wrong bait and maybe catch 1 or 2. You can go through there and catch 10, you know.
And that's really comes along with the knowledge of fishing for years. And I know you guys have both been fishing here for years and fishing West Point Lake, you know, for a long time. And it's amazing how experienced fishermen like yourself can kind of see fishing in a little bit different light than maybe somebody like myself that's not got the experience that you guys have.
See, Ken does more tournaments than I do. I fish occasionally a tournament, but he in fact was state champion a few years ago as well.
Wow, yeah, I know that you've got some titles here. I believe you were was it 2007 Angler of the Year here at West Point Lake?
West Point Lake Fisherman of the Year, which was voted by the Lake Coalition. They pick an angler every year who's done well that year and give back to the community. And I work with high school kids, teaching them fishing, and we actually formed us a club, and we fish on the lake and do teach them all kind of little seminars type stuff, secrets, you know. And then I was actually 2004 the Georgia state champion.
Great.
We have the state championship here on West Point every year, and that particular year we had 325 boats here.
Wow.
So, you know, West Point has a great reputation. People come from all over, you know, and they're anxious to get here.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has a shot at winning. You know, I haven't won it since 2004, but I've had about 3 or 4 different times I should have, but everything has to work, you know. So It's not something that the same guys are going to win, you know, every year. It's
Sure.
Circumstances change so much.
Well, and I've always said, as many great stories as this fish is, there's usually 10 bad stories for every great story, isn't
Right.
there? But that's awesome. And Ken, I know you do guide here on the lake. If somebody, you know, really wants to get with you and have you take them out, how can they get a hold of you?
You can go on Highland Marina website and click on the guide service, and I'm listed on there. You can, and my phone number's on there, and my Facebook page is on there, or you can call 706-884-0494, and I usually, when people call, I tell them what to expect during the day. You know what we normally do, which we normally meet at Highland Marina, and we'll spend 6-7 hours out there, you know, depending on their schedule, and how the fish are cooperating. And
Yeah, and we invite everybody to just get out here at West Point Lake. We're proud of the lake that we have here. We're proud of the fisheries, and we want people out here.
It's a great lake.
It
Even if
is.
you don't fish, it's good just to get out and recreate on.
Absolutely.
It's amazing because, you know, there's probably a dozen or more bald eagles live out here.
Yeah.
And there's at least that many golden eagles, osprey, deer. I mean, it's just like a whole different world out there. You know, there's no red light stop signs. You know, you can cut the phone off and enter a different world on West Point Lake.
Absolutely. And
It's relaxing to be out there, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
is.
And we invite everyone to come out to West Point Lake and enjoy that experience. And gentlemen, I want to thank you for being on the show today and teaching us a little bit more about fishing on West Point Lake, and hope that everybody was able to learn something just like I did. And we want everyone to stay tuned because we have more to come. Welcome back. I want to thank our guests with us today, Greg Olson, Ken Bearden, and Jill Sestino, for not only being with us today, but all the great work they do here at West Point Lake. I also want to thank everyone for joining us today, and also let me remind you about a few things going on here at the lake. All of our beaches open the first weekend in May, and we hope that you can all come out and enjoy us there. Also want to remind you to come out and visit our campgrounds. They're going to be open for the rest of the summer for your use. As always, when you're around the water, be sure to wear your life jacket. They float, you don't. Until next time, have a great day at the lake.